How are we doing, guys? We are back again, All Leeds TV, and we're going into a bit of now Euro 2021 content. It is the England squad reaction. As you can tell by the title, we are all very happy because we know that Kalvin Phillips is in the squad. It's not a massive surprise, but there you go. It's still a lovely honour to see a Leeds player in the England squad because it's coming home, guys. It is coming home. You know this. But guys, before we start, we've got a fantastic Euro 2020. I mean, is it Euro 2020 or Euro 2021?
Still calling it 2020, aren't they?
2020, okay. It's Euro 2020. Join our European League, guys. Join it. Predict the scores for every single game and select the 4 players who you think will score in each round. So it's a bit of a combination of predictions and fantasy football. It's a lovely little combination. It is free to join. It is at Scorito. So if you either visit Scorito online, if you haven't got a smartphone or Android phone, etc., visit them online at Scorito. The link is also in the description. It is free to join, guys. It is free to join. We are going to have prizes on offer for the winner. We've not decided what the prize will be yet, but there will be a prize on offer for the winner. It'd be fantastic if you can join for us, guys. But as I said, it's a combination of fantasy football and predictions. So you predict the scores for each round, you predict the scorers for each round, 4 scorers for each round, and you predict overall who will win the tournament. So guys, check it out, Scorito. You can also download the Scorito app. Now the big thing as well, if you join our league, you can join for free. Normally it costs you $2.99 to join, but with us it is totally free to join. So join our league, All Leeds TV, and there will be a prize on offer for the winner. So let's get into it anyway. Let's get into this Euro squad. So first of all, let's just start with the main thing. Kalvin, Rhiannon, is in the squad. Does he start that first game for you?
I want him to. I really do. But I can't stop thinking that Southgate is just going to just choose Declan over him. I just have a feeling like he's not going to play the first game. I reckon Declan will probably, play the first game. Or even play them both, which they shouldn't really, but as we all know, but, that could happen as well. But I really, really do hope he does because I just want everyone to see what he's made of, really. Why us Leeds fans love him so much.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe you called Declan Rice Declan, not once, but twice there, Rhiannon. Declan.
What?
Declan.
That's his name, isn't it?
Rice. Just call him Rice. No nicknames or anything. Rice. That's all he is to us. Rice.
Name.
Chris, I mean, look, one positive for you today, mate. Watkins isn't in the squad.
I wasn't watching the Euros if Watkins was in the squad. And to be fair, the only reason I'm watching it anyway is while Kalvin's on the pitch because we can see, just looking at that squad, we can see how we're going to be in the Euros. Might as well park the bus now and just hopefully no one scores against us, and then hopefully Harry Kane turns up and we get set pieces like we did in the World Cup, and he put 6 penalties in or whatever it is. Boring football, Gareth Southgate style, standard.
Phil, are you any more enthusiastic about this tournament coming up?
I'm really liking the optimism, to be honest. I think that was optimistic from Chris. It could have been worse. I'm going to really struggle to go any higher than that. I'm excited to watch Kalvin Phillips because of Kalvin Phillips. And like I said before, if he wouldn't have gone, I'd have been probably happier for him to spend the summer with Bielsa. But, he's going. We'll watch him. I do think he'll start the first game. He played pretty much every minute of the last few, the whole of the last 3 games, most outfield minutes of any player in that last round of fixtures, didn't he? So, I think he'll start. I think he'll play pretty much every minute of every game if he can. I think Southgate has a lot of confidence in him. It's just going to be really hard for Leeds fans to get behind Gareth Southgate when he seems to only have faith in one of our players when he should have had faith in at least one more, probably two more, and potentially three more for me.
Well, obviously the other one would have been Bamford, presumably. Who else would you argue in the squad?
Definitely should have been in over Watkins, and I would still argue the final squad. I know Watkins didn't make it, but there's people in that squad now that I still think you've only got two proper central strikers in Harry Kane and Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin out of form as well, worth pointing out. Calvert-Lewin's form's been poor second part of the season.
I think you could have made an argument for Bamford still to go. And then obviously, I feel a bit sorry for Ward-Prowse to have dropped out just because I was going through the stats of what's behind everyone today. And, he's put up some good numbers, but Jack Harrison, for me, deserves to be in that squad based on the numbers that he's put up. I know that's not the formation that we're playing. I know people will say that there's other players in that position. Bukayo Saka could play that position, could play centrally, could play right, could play anywhere. You got Grealish, Mount, Foden, but for me, the numbers that Harrison's put up, most of any English midfielder in the Premier League this season, deserve to go. And then we've had that thing with Luke Ayling all season. He's had the most progressive carries in Europe, more than Lionel Messi. And then I know we've got 4 right backs in already, so we probably didn't need another one, but it wouldn't have been unlike Southgate to take 7 right backs, so why not just shove him in?
Well, let's go through the squad. I'm just going to put up the graphic that England have just tweeted out about just under an hour ago. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to read the squad out to you. If it does load, it's not. There we go. So the full squad is the goalkeepers: Dean Henderson, Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford. We then have a defensive options of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, and Kyle Walker. Midfielders, a lot less midfielders when you look at it like this. Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Kalvin Phillips, Declan Rice, and then the strikers or wingers, forwards, whatever you want to call them: Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho, and Raheem Sterling. So let's work our way down. Let's start with the goalkeepers. So look, we know it's not an area that England are blessed in. In the past, we've had the likes of Nigel Martin, Paul Robinson, people like that. At this moment in time, I think most England fans, for me certainly, I think I saw a debate the other day of name one England legend or one England option you'd love to have in this squad, any age, any era. And for me, it's be starting with a goalkeeper. I think that's still going to be the Achilles heel for this England team. Look at the options: Dean Henderson, Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford. I mean, none of them are massively giving me confidence. I think the only one you could say is that Dean Henderson's managed to get as a first choice at that team from over the Pennines. But even then, I'm not particularly convinced by that. Phil, your thoughts on the goalkeepers? Has anyone been hard done to there to not make the final 3?
You could make an argument Ramsdale's been unlucky losing out to Sam Johnston, and maybe this is just going off the last game of the season we played West Brom, so the last goalkeeper I saw was Sam Johnston, and that first half against us, he was laughable, mate. Absolutely laughable. Ramsdale, he was in a terrible team. I mean, they both got relegated, so it's splitting hairs between them, but I think the numbers that Ramsdale's put up are slightly more impressive. And just from watching Ramsdale over Johnson, I would take Ramsdale. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't take 3 goalkeepers. I'd just get rid of both of them and take Bamford.
I'd play flyers. Wouldn't play with a goalkeeper. I'd just play Harry Maguire as a flyer goalkeeper.
Get rid of all 4 and we can have our Leeds players in.
I'd play one of the 4 right backs in goal, to be honest.
Yeah, fine.
Anyway.
Or something.
That's it, though, isn't it? I think it's not been a position where it's been great for a while, has it, goalkeepers, in that kind of sense? I mean, Chris, I can't really add anything to what Phil said there. I think even Aaron Ramsdale, I'm hardly losing sleep over the fact that Aaron Ramsdale's not got in the squad. I'm hardly even getting slightly annoyed because we've just not got great options in that position.
I think it's the 3 we knew he'd take, mate, to be honest with you. That doesn't mean they're a good... There's not a one complete goalkeeper in there for me. That's the worry. He's been rinsed out.
It's fair. I was getting carried away there.
There's not one keeper you'd say is a complete goalkeeper. They've all got pros. They've all got cons. And to be fair to Pickford, I don't think he's ever let England down. But it's not far away, is it? Let's be honest. Old little T-Rex arms.
He was
never
class
far
at the
away.
last World Cup, wasn't he?
He was.
He was actually really good.
Yeah.
He's better for England than he is for Everton.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Is he
Stuart
number
Dallas
one
should
for you
play
guys?
He'll start
doing
number
job.
one for me.
I mean, I think just based off his World Cup performance, I think he'll be starting in goal. I can't see Dean Henderson or Sam Johnstone starting at all.
I think
he's the one with tournament experience as well now, isn't he, after the last World Cup?
Definitely.
So
Yeah, I think the other advantage he's got is his distribution's quite good as well. He's got a decent left peg on him in terms of like spraying passes out wide and all that. Like he's no Meslier in that kind of sense, but he has got that little bit more ability about him for a ball playing goalkeeper than what I think Henderson and Johnson have. Because let's be honest, they're not the modern goalkeepers, are they? In that sense, they're just trying to smash it as far away as possible from their own goal, aren't they? Let's be honest.
To be fair, when Pickford puts his foot through it, it looks like he's trying to launch it to orbit the moon. I don't know why he kicks like. What worries me about Pickford is everything he does looks dramatic. Everything.
Yeah.
He's the worst version of what I'd want in a keeper.
Yeah.
I feel like
in the Premier League, I think. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. It's that, isn't it?
Dean Henderson's a bit lucky to be in there, to be honest, because he has only played 13 games this season. I know the others. I mean, Pickford's been in and out of the Everton side a couple of times. He's missed 7 league games, but that's not a lot of games for Dean Henderson to prove himself. And don't get me wrong, I do think he's a better keeper than both Ramsdale and Johnston probably put together. But after 13 games to have got in a Euros squad, he's not been involved.
Phil, the options
are garbage.
That's it. That's the only reason. Let's be honest. Dean Henderson isn't getting an England squad when we had the likes of Robinson, David James, or Nigel Martin, people like that, or David Seaman. He's not getting anywhere near a squad when we had that kind of level of goalkeeper. But I still feel, as much as Southgate rightly gets criticism, I think it'll be the goalkeepers that will probably prove to be our downfall. If we're not to win the Euros, I think it'll be because of a mistake. You look at those knockout games where it's tight margins. You can't afford to have a dodgy goalkeeper in those situations. I just feel that. I think that's going to be our biggest problem. I don't know. Do you guys agree? I think that's our weakest area, to be honest.
100%.
By a distance as well.
Yeah, just lately we just haven't got any proper decent goalkeepers around, do we? Because all the decent goalkeepers I think of in the Premier League, they're all different nationalities. It's a bit frustrating, really, for us because, I was actually quite surprised at the World Cup back in 2018. I was actually getting excited for England because I thought, bloody hell, we've managed to get into a semi-final, and how the heck did we do that with Pickford in goal? It was just, do you know what I mean?
I think there's 2 weak areas, to be honest with you. The goalkeeper's definitely the worst, and up front, I think if Kane gets injured, we might as well pack our bags and come home.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think there's a couple of positions where it's a bit like that as well. I think in the centre backs, you could say if Stones or Maguire, if one of them picks up a knock, you're looking at Cody or Mings. But we'll get onto that in a second. But
I wouldn't even be taking Maguire.
I won't be taking.
Well, really? We'll go on to that. We'll go on to that in a second. Don't worry. We'll get onto that. I know you're a fan of our. Anyway, we'll get onto that in a second, man. But yeah, Chris in goal. Have you seen Chris's guns for starters? Have you seen Chris's guns? The wall. One-on-one situation. The striker's bottling it. With Seaman goal. He's bottling it. He's just giving up. He's giving up. But nice one there, Mick, as well. The goalkeeper position is our weakest point. I would say that. I would say in terms of, I think I agree with what you're saying there, Chris, in terms of the starting option with Kane and that lot, but I don't think we've even got a decent starting goalkeeper. That's the big problem.
I agree, mate, definitely.
The depth isn't even worth talking about. We all know how bad the depth is. But let's go on to defenders. So I'll just remind ourselves, guys, our defenders. So let's try and do this in some kind of order. So we've got 4 right-backs to start off with. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, not Harry Maguire, sorry, he's not a right-back, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, and then we've got 4 centre-backs, Connor Cody, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, and John Stones, and then 2 left-backs of Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell. So for starters, I think this is the first time in an international tournament where a team has taken as many right-backs as they have centre-backs. I don't think I've ever known that ever happen in an international tournament. Let's start with the right-backs. I mean, I think they're all good players. I'll say that for starters. I think they're all good players. I think, for me, Alexander-Arnold is the best of the 4 by a mile in terms of all-round game. I don't know, but I have a feeling Alexander-Arnold doesn't start that first game. I have a feeling it'll be Walker or James, to be honest. I mean, Phil, what's your take on that, mate?
I think, generally speaking, I would agree with you. I do think Trent is the best of the 4. But I think, like you were saying with the goalkeepers, on current form, on this season and what they've done this season, Trent shouldn't be starting that first game. I know he's picked up towards the back end of the season, but he burst onto the scene. He's won a Champions League, he's won the league, and then Liverpool in general have had a difficult season this season. So it's not his fault that that's where he is this year, but he's not had his strongest year compared to the last couple of years when him and Robertson were the best 2 fullbacks in the country by a long distance. Neither of them have really set the world on fire this season. So I would expect to see either a Premier League winner or a Champions League winner started at right back in the first game. And fair play to him, rightly so. I think with Kyle Walker, you've got that extra experience. Yeah, he's got the pace, but he's already played at a World Cup and the Euros. Reece James hasn't. So maybe that gives him the edge. Trippier, again, wasn't really mentioned there, but he's already played at a World Cup, scored in a World Cup semi-final, and he's won the league as well this year in Spain. So I think people were saying that they expected Trent to maybe miss out and someone else to go in his place. You could see why, but I think with his versatility, he could play in midfield as well. So he does have a bit of an extra edge to some of the players that have.
Well, that's the point, really. Alexander-Arnold, the plan might be to move his position. With the fact that we've not taken many natural centre midfielders in that squad, I think there's only 4. That's if you include Jude Bellingham, because I think for me, Jude Bellingham's more attack-minded anyway. But no, I don't know. I know what you're saying, obviously, Phil, in terms of over the season. Yes, you can say Kyle Walker and Reece James have been better, but I'm just looking at the way Alexander-Arnold's finished the season. He's been the creative force for that Liverpool team. The way he's finished it. I think the set piece delivery for me is a massive, massive bonus. I'm just thinking from the point of Harry Kane. If I'm Harry Kane in the box, I know who I want swinging ball after ball after ball into me, because he's getting on the end of him. I just think that's a clear way of us breaking down the likes of Scotland, the likes of the Czech Republic in the group stages. I think later in the tournament, when you're facing people like Mbappe, Sane, people like that, absolutely world-class players, beyond world-class players in that kind of sense, maybe you are looking at Walker, James for the recovery pace, but I still feel that Alexander-Arnold, certainly to start off with, for me, should be starting in for England, and certainly because you're looking at it and thinking, if we're starting James and Walker in that first game, I just think it's sending out that. I get it. I get that they're probably stronger defenders, but I just think it's sending out a message that we're a bit not scared so much. But I'll go with the thing of saying scared, that we don't feel we can play Alexander-Arnold. I think we should just be trying to be dominant, start our best attacking right back, and let's get a supply into Harry Kane. For me, I just think Alexander-Arnold and Sancho, in terms of the way they probably link up together, I just think that's a really, really dangerous right-hand side. I mean, Chris, what's your take? What would you be doing for the Euros in terms of the right back situation?
I think he'll start with Walker. I personally think Reece James deserves to start there, and I would go with James. I think his delivery is decent enough. Watching a few Chelsea games towards the back end of the season, and he's pretty solid, and he gets up and down the pitch. I don't see Trent starting, and I probably wouldn't start him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you could guarantee 15 free kicks from around the box and everything else through a 90-minute game, then you would have Trent on just to walk around until it was dead ball time. Do you know what I mean? Because his delivery is that good. But for me, I think personally, I'd give it to. I'm trying to look on form as well, and I know Trent's been good back end of the season. No one can argue with that. But I think Reece James just nicks it for me. But I do think he'll start with Walker because of the experience thing.
The only thing I say about James, though, I thought he was superb on Saturday night in that City game. I mean, he did a superb job of, in terms of Sterling struggled against him, then Foden, then Jesus, whoever they put against him wasn't getting past him. But I would say sometimes, I'm not sure about his passing, to be honest. I'm not sure about his passing from time to time. I think in that cup final, I think that mistake he made in the build-up to the goal against Leicester, I'm thinking, when teams try and press us. But I don't know, look, I think whoever starts at right back, that isn't going to cost us this tournament. They're more than good enough to start for this England team for me.
Has anyone looked at the squad numbers? I mean, I'm probably reading a lot into it, but Kyle Walker.
Well, I can tell you.
So I'm just going.
I haven't seen the squad numbers yet.
Kyle Walker's been given the number 2 shirt, so I'm going to guess the same as Chris that Kyle Walker starts at right back in the first game.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I think that's what's going to happen, but I'd look at Kyle Walker, though. I don't know. He's still got these stupid moments in him, though. He's still got that tendency to give a penalty away.
Because he had one against us, didn't he? At Ellen Road. But I think that's just Gareth Southgate. I agree with you, though, Oscar. It can send out the wrong message. We're more defensive minded than actual offensive. But yeah, I agree with Chris. As much as I'd probably prefer Reece James, he'd pick Kyle Walker. You can sort of read Southgate like a book, can't you? And who he's gonna pick. So
we're so unlucky, aren't we? We have
just predictable.
You can't predict anything Bielsa's thinking, and then you just get Southgate. Yeah, we all know what's happening.
Let's be honest. I mean, I've seen people online going, it's a pretty decent squad. We've got every chance. The reason we don't win the Euros this year is because of the manager we've got.
I agree. I mean, the thing is, it's not even about. It shouldn't be that complicated to win the Euros. With the home team, we've got so many options. If you ignore the goalkeeper situation, we've got a starting 11 for me that should be looking to play everyone. Go toe-to-toe with everyone. I think because the thing he's going to do, he's going to play 2 defensive midfielders. We know that. What is the point of playing 2 defensive midfielders if you can't then play your best attacking right back?
Do you know those tactics? You know those tactics you need with that squad. A certain Marcelo Bielsa, a single pivot central defensive midfielder. Whether that be Rice or Phillips, you can argue the toss all day long about that, depending whether you're Leeds, West Ham, or another. But one single pivot and you go toe-to-toe with them. And with that squad and that forward line, your Fodens, your Kanes, you should be absolutely steamrolling teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I'm going to be controversial here. Just somebody's coming here off Mick, another fantastic nation. Thanks so much, Mick, mate. I'm going to say something in terms of Luke Ayling. I want the opinion from all 4 pundits. Should Luke Ayling have had a call-up? Most passes for Leeds this season, 2,381. Now, I personally don't think he should have been called up, but I think if we were taking 4 right backs, there's definitely a case there if that was the plan. Because I look at Kyle Walker. If Luke Ayling had Kyle Walker's pace, I genuinely think Luke Ayling's a far better right back. I'm going to go that far as to say that. I genuinely do think Luke Ayling's a better technician. He's a better crosser of the ball. Probably a better overall defender. I just think the only thing Kyle Walker has over him is just absolute electric pace. I mean, would any of you guys have called up Luke Ayling?
I'd take him over Kyle Walker.
I actually probably, you know what? I probably agree.
Yeah.
I can understand why he hasn't gone. I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. But if you look at Kyle Walker, I mean, the comparison is probably the best one. Like you've just said, Oscar, the pace is literally all that separates them. They can both play as a right centre back in a back three, if that's what Gareth really wants to do. I think Walker, again, the only thing he's got over him that isn't pace is he's already been to a World Cup, he's already been to a Euros, he's got over 50 caps. But he didn't play as many games as you'd expect. He only played 24 games. So out of all the defenders that have been called up to the squad, it's only the two City players, him and Stones, that have played under 30 games. Everyone else has been pretty much ever present. So like they've rotated a bit more. Ayling's been involved like pretty much every game this season. Pressing wise, you'd go Ayling even still without the pace. I think when it comes to tackling, he probably beats him there. Every single metric defensively, other than pace, I think Ayling doesn't. Whether it's fair or not is probably you're asking the wrong four people for that one.
Well, let's go on to the centre-backs then, because I know Chris... I'm going to go straight to Chris. Right, let's remind ourselves of the centre-backs. It is Harry Maguire, John Stones, Tyrone Mings and Connor Cody. So, Chris, I mean, you wouldn't have even selected Maguire.
No, right. I'm going to put a statement out there right now. When is the England manager, whoever's in the seat at the time, going to learn you don't take half-fit, half-crocked players to a tournament? It rarely works. And I'm not just pointing at Maguire here. I'm also pointing at Henderson, who I also don't think should be going. You need to take fully fit, in-form players to a tournament, not ones, he's got a massive head, so he might stop a goal going in because it's bound to hit it somehow, or the ball just gravitates towards it. Sorry, I don't like Maguire anyway. I think he's well overrated as a defender. I also think nah, mate, he's not worth £8.
Teeing him up there, mate. Phil's getting there now. He's learning how to tee up now.
I also think Conser should be going over Mings.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, the only thing I'd say, Chris,
that, to be fair as well.
Yeah,
it's not just us.
A lot of Villa fans. When we had the Villa fans on, Chris Ellis and I think it's for the love of Paul McGrath, I think the podcast was called as well. They were saying that they would actually look to, I think, something along the lines of that the areas they need to strengthen in is centre back. They're very full of praise for Collins, so that kind of summed it up for me in that kind of sense. But I think it was those two. I might be wrong. It might be other Villa fans, but I've definitely heard that said. But all I'd say is, Chris, if we've got a squad of 26, I do think we can risk maybe 2 or 3 of them not being fully fit. So I'd say about Maguire is that he has started every game for England. I do think he's a lot better when fully fit than the other options, to be honest. I would say that. Other than maybe Konza, I would still say he's a lot better than the other options. Henderson, yeah, I think Henderson's one you can look at and say Phillips and Rice, there's not a massive difference there. I still like Henderson as a player. I like the leadership he brings. But would you not say that, mate, that we can afford to maybe have, even if Maguire's not fit until later on in the tournament, can't play every game, is it not still worth having them around?
I don't know if Kalvin Phillips would have agreed with you a week ago.
I know. Chris, you muted, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Sorry, I just knocked it. It's all right. It's all right. Harry Maguire will be sent home in a few days anyway when he's set off on a fight with a waiter or a copper or something. So I don't think he should be anywhere near the squad. I don't think he should. I don't think he's that good. I think there's better options. I prefer Connor Cody, and I'm still not 100% on him.
Mate, come on, Connor Cody.
Wow.
Yeah. Harry Maguire is a shocking excuse of a defender.
Just Connor Cody would be a League One player if it wasn't for Nuno Espirito Santo. Honestly, he's shocking, Connor Cody.
Yeah, Oscar. Kalvin Phillips would be a League One player if it wasn't for Marcelo Bielsa. So that's a ridiculous statement, mate.
Oh, come on.
What's the difference?
Between Kalvin Phillips and Connor Cody?
We were all ready to see Kalvin out the door screaming, we'd rather keep Ronaldo Vieira till Marcelo Bielsa walked in that club and transformed him.
It's true.
I'm looking at Connor Cody now. I'm thinking, really, does he really even stand out in the Wolves team?
No.
He's a centre back. He shouldn't be standing out in a Wolves team.
What I don't see. What does Connor Cody bring? I just think he's.
What does Harry Maguire bring?
He can actually defend a little
get his
bit.
Head in the way.
What can Connor Cody do?
Nothing more or less than Harry Maguire. To be honest, they're both pants. There you go.
Where's my popcorn?
I'm just laughing at Rihanna's
Phil's
face.
just called Chris. Chris has just called Kalvin Phillips a League One player. Is what I was saying.
Well, I didn't know, did I?
I'm just sat here like I need my popcorn.
I mean, guys.
The difference is Connor Cody's fit. Harry Maguire's not. That's the only difference between them. White Peacock's right as well. Harry Maguire looks like he's running in treacle.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend Harry Maguire. I'm not going to sit here and defend Man United's captain. It doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right now. I'm going to ignore that, Phil. I'm going to ignore that. If you mention that again, you are permanently banned from all these TVs. So you've had your warning, mate. You've had your warning. Oh, don't start that again. Honestly, if he has a good World Cup, a good Euros, I'm in trouble again. Like that 2018 World Cup had a high to like. Anyway, so Phil, I mean, do you think Cody's a fair pick? I'm looking at people like Konza, I'm looking at people like Tamori, I'm looking at even Ben White, to be honest with you, and I'm thinking they offer more than Connor Cody. I mean, I genuinely do think that. I just think he's a very, very average footballer.
Yeah, Connor Cody would easily be the problem. I'm looking through the entire squad. This is before it was cut down to 26. Apart from Ollie Watkins, who we all know why we're pissed off about, I really can't think of anyone else I would have taken out quicker than I'd take out Connor Cody. I think he's an absolutely talentless defender that's been made to look better by the system that he plays in. They play in a back three, which is extremely defensive, and they have been garbage this season, Wolves. He's been held up by Roman Saiz for years, and I think he gets in just by being a personality. Like, he wants to be a pundit. You can tell already when he finishes his career. Yeah. He's happy to step out for every interview. He's a happy little chappy. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure he's a nice fella. But he spent about 10 minutes of the two games that we played against him on the floor pretending to have concussion so that they could see out a 1-0 win. And that was the only thing they had all season. They were absolute shite. I mean, Harry Maguire might be a joke at times, but Connor Cody, for me, don't understand how he's in the Wolves team, let alone the England squad. Shouldn't be anywhere near it, ever. Let alone go to a major tournament. No. Ben White.
Don't let Chris hear you say that, dearie me.
Lou's right in the comments.
That's true.
Cody's
this is true.
The back three.
Yeah. Of course it is. It's if we end up playing that system. It's the same reason that Kyle Walker might go instead of any of the other 5 million right backs.
I agree. That's the reason. And the difference is I won't play Maguire in a back eight.
I love this. We're gonna have a whole series on Chris on Harry Maguire. It's just.
I'd rather Helder Costa played at centre back for England.
Call him a belt.
But the thing is, if England are going with a back five in the home nation as well, one of the home nations at the tournament, they go with a back five with two holding midfielders, the TV's off.
Yeah, it's
I'm actually not going to turn the TV on.
Expensive. It would be just nice to see a actual Southgate team actually look like they're trying to be attacking in some way or form. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's too defensive minded, and why do we want to start out defensively? I mean, we're the home nation. We want to actually bring it home. So why act like we're just gonna park the bus all the time?
I just think that big thanks as well to Nick as well there, because that's just obvious, isn't it? That's obvious. Yeah, Marcelo Bielsa. He wouldn't bottle a Champions League final. He wouldn't. He's just perfect. He's Marcelo Bielsa. He's manager. He's Premier League manager of the season. There we go. We've said it. For me, starting centre backs, Chris is going to go absolutely mad at me now. But I'd say Stones Maguire. I just think it's been proven at a tournament. They played together at. Stones Mings, Stones Cody.
I think the whole selection's pants, mate. John Stones has had a better season this season.
Within this squad, out those 4 centre-backs, if we are playing a back 4, which 2 are you going for?
You're probably right. Out the ones that are selected, mate. Mm-hmm. You are probably right. I think John Stones has had a better season this season. But what concerns me is John Stones, as we saw a couple of times at the back end of the season, still has a mistake in him. And next to Harry Maguire, who, as we said, runs in treacle, it just concerns me, mate, against better forward lines. It really does. But Southgate, and that's he's just picked wrong. He's just picked wrong for me. I genuinely think Ben, if we're going on form and everything else, Ben White would have been a better option there. He can bring the ball out from the back. He's got a bit of pace about him. He's good on the ball. And rarely do you see Ben White make a mistake. Rarely.
I'm just looking at the only thing I say about in terms of Stones and Ben White is that you could bully that easily. You could easily bully them too. For me, I mean, just out the 4, I don't think anyone's going to say that Stones and Maguire. It's like playing Jack Charlton and Bobby Moore. It's nothing further from that. It's not even. It's nowhere near even playing like Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, or Terry and Ferdinand, whatever centre back partnership you want to think of. It's nowhere near that. It's not going to really stand out in that sense. But I still think that's miles better than Mings and Cody being anywhere near it. Because I just think you put one of those.
I mean, Jesus. Yeah. Tyrone Mings is actually stealing a living as a footballer. Never mind an international footballer.
I can't see why. I don't know even why Connor Cody and Mings are in that England team. We've got so much better options.
We've got enough right backs. Just take all the right backs.
Yeah.
You could have taken A-League as a centre back.
Yeah.
This is it, though, isn't it? It's mad. Rhiannon, I mean, it was your starting centre backs be out of that 4.
I reluctantly agree with you, Oscar, if I'm being honest.
I'm not saying it's a fantastic 2 centre-back partnership, by the way. I'm not saying it's brilliant.
Out of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
Basically.
What concerns me now is we're going through this. We're like, goalkeeper's a weak position. Then we've just named our starting 2 centre-backs and we're like, I won't go anywhere near that if it was my choice.
I don't think it's not that bad. I don't think it's not as bad as having Pickford start.
Someone like an Mbappe is picking them 2 apart.
Yeah.
I think any decent striker is, to be fair, but has anyone got good centre backs these days?
I mean, centre backs changed, hasn't it, from what I guess what you consider a traditional centre back. It's more what they do with the ball at the feet now, isn't it, and stuff. But I mean, Harry Maguire can't even do out with it at his feet. At least John Stones has got a touch.
I love that. Absolutely love this.
He'll have a blinder now. He'll have a great
Maguire scores. Maguire scores the winner.
He'll finish top scorer for England or something, mate. Just keep.
I've not got onto Jack Grealish yet. To be fair, Chris, I'm going to be the same as you with Jack Grealish, but we'll get onto that in a second anyway. But
I'm glad Grealish is going.
The 4 of England winning a World Cup, Euros, and Jack Grealish scoring the winner. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'm messing. Let's go on to left backs. I kind of am. Let's go on to left backs. Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell. I think that's pretty solid. I don't see any problem with those 2. They both offer different things. Chilwell's probably slightly better going forward, but Shaw's been a bit more of an all-rounder this season. I'm pretty happy with that as left backs go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Who would start for you out of the 2?
I'd say Chilwell.
Yeah.
I'd say
probably.
Shaw.
Would you? I'd say just on the back end of the season form, I'd probably just pitch for Chilwell, but it's genuinely I'm not concerned about which either one starts there for me. I think they've both had good seasons.
There's not a massive difference, is there, between the 2? There's not a massive difference.
I think Chilwell offers more going forward, like goals for the season.
Yeah.
I think Luke Shaw maybe slightly better defensively, but
does that mean that Shaw starts then, Phil? Because Shaw's more defensive minded, so the manager we've got, Shaw starts.
Yeah, most likely. Let's just fucking defend throughout the tournament.
Listen, you're all having to go at Gareth Southgate. I'm the only one in this four who said start Trent Alexander-Arnold. So you can't have it both ways, guys. You're having to go at Southgate for being defensive, and you're saying don't start your best attacking right back.
Yeah, but we know he's going to pick Walker over Trent Alexander-Arnold, though. That's the thing.
I was hoping someone was going to bite then. I really was hoping someone was going to bite then. It was a decent attempt. Right, guys, let's remind you guys, we're just about halfway through the squad. We've gone through the goalkeepers, gone through the defenders. We've got fantastic competition as well throughout the Euros, which you do need to sign up for before the 11th of June, which is from Scarito. I'm just going to get you the link here. It is in the description down below. You either need to download the Scarito app, or if you look up Scarito on Google, you will find them. Basically, this is the European Championships, 2020 European Championships, 2021, whatever we're calling it. It is a competition for you guys to join. It's both fantasy football and predictions rolled into one. So basically, you predict the scores of every single game of the tournament. You predict the winner of the tournament, obviously before the tournament's kicked off. And you predict the 4 scorers in each round of the tournament as well. So it's a bit of a combination of all different football kind of games combined into one, really. The big thing as well is it is free to join our league. Normally, if you join another league on Scarito, it costs $2.99, but it is totally free to join our league. The winner will be winning the prize. We're not sure what the prize will be yet, but there will be a prize from All Leeds TV for the winner of the competition. We're hoping we can get as many of you to join as possible. You know, you don't have to be Leeds fans. You don't have to be Leeds fans to join this. But it's preferable, but you don't have to be Leeds fans. You can pretend to be Leeds fans or whatever. You can just join our competition. It's a lot of fun. We're all good.
Are you encouraging plastic fans there, Oscar?
I am encouraging plastic fans. Also known as Chelsea fans and City fans and Arsenal fans. But yeah, if you are a plastic football fan, then please join our league. But yeah, everyone in All Leeds TV will be joining. There'll be a bit of a pride at stake for the people joining All Leeds TV. Whoever wins, whoever loses, you know, can you finish above one of us 7? Can you finish above us? But you have to wait and see.
Loads of people will finish above me because I'm just shocking.
Phil's doing his research now.
Yeah,
you know it.
Yeah.
Phil's determined. Phil's determined. You see the determination in Mr. Miles' face there. But
I was doing my research on someone in the comments. Yeah, I'm biting. Someone in the comments said Luke Shaw's got more assists than Chilwell this season. I've got it in front of me. No, he doesn't. They're not the same. What are you on about? I've got 5. I've got 5 assists, but Chilwell's got 3 goals. Luke Shaw's got 1. I mean, feel free to show me different. I've been wrong before. I'll hold my hands up.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, well, with stats, especially, we have been wrong before.
Once.
Like according to Phil, we won the last World Cup.
I was half wrong once. And that's
half wrong.
Oh, God, bringing in the 0.5s again.
That was the best newly promoted championship side in Premier League history.
No, you're not digging yourself out of that one.
Right, let's go on to the midfielders. Let's go on to the midfielders anyway. So the midfielders: Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Kalvin Phillips, Declan Rice. To be honest, let's put it this way: there's not a Steven Gerrard in that midfield. There's not a Paul Scholes. There's not a world-class midfielder within those options. But I actually quite like that midfield. I think it's solid enough. It's not going to let you down, I don't think. I think Kalvin in there is probably the most natural holding player out of the 5. But I think they all bring you something a little bit different. I think Mason Mount, you look at the way he's finished the season, I think he starts for me, but probably a little bit higher up the pitch. But I'm relatively happy with that midfield, to be honest. Chris, you're not happy with Jordan Henderson being selected, but the only thing I'd say, the leadership element of it, and the fact if he does get on the pitch, you know he's got that experience as well.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fair shout, mate, from you, to be honest. And if he was fully fit and had been playing regularly for the last couple of months and in half decent form, then he goes all day long for me. It just sticks again, mate, that, again, we're risking, and like we've done in the past as England, we've taken half fit or half crocked players, whichever, if depends whether your glass is half full or half empty. But I can see the reason for him going. I understand why. So I'm not going to get he's a decent footballer. I'm not going to get my head in a spin like I've done about Harry Maguire, because I can see the benefits of taking a Jordan Henderson.
Okay. Rhiannon, what's your thoughts on that midfield? I mean, for me, that's the best. That's probably the best out of all the options we have. When I was saying before, like Gerrard and Scholes have not got options like that. We just don't have those options. It's not like he's left someone that you think, oh, what a disgrace, he's left them out of the squad. I just don't. We don't have any different options in that area of the pitch.
No, I agree. I don't think we do have a Steven Gerrard type of player around at the moment. While looking at it, I think that midfield option was the most comfortable. Do you know what I mean? I was the most comfortable with that, like most positive about. But yeah, it's just who plays though on the first game will be. That's the only question mark I have. Like, I don't know who Southgate is going to pick. Like, that's the only.
I think he goes Rice and Kalvin in 2 DM slots. With Mount in and around in front of him. I think Mount plays slightly ahead of them, but I do think Mount plays.
Yeah, I would think Mount definitely plays. It was just the others because I don't know. I mean, because you could actually, even though I know Henderson isn't 100% fit still, you just know Southgate would still play him anyway. So yeah, but you just know. Yeah, I hate that double pivot. I don't like that.
I think you're wasting Kalvin Phillips playing him in a double, whereas you could have another player higher up the pitch with Kalvin doing the single pivot like he does for Leeds week in, week out. For me, borderline world-class level sometimes, or even world-class level sometimes. I think it's an absolute waste of a position playing 2 DMs in there. I 100% agree with you, mate.
I think it's down to the manager, though, for me. Yeah. I think someone like, I don't know, any kind of manager who's decent, I think makes Phillips and Rice work in midfield. I just think you give one a specific role, you get the other player a bit more freedom. I think Rice is the player who's a little bit more box to box. He can get himself the odd goal. He's got that little bit more going forward than maybe KP. But Kalvin's that specialist holding midfield player. Let him play like that. Let him take the ball from the centre backs. But he doesn't. He doesn't let him play like that at all.
Exactly.
Southgate. He has Rice playing behind Phillips somehow, and you're thinking. For me, I'd agree with what you're saying, Brianna. I totally agree in the sense that the way Southgate manages it is just terrible. But I think under a different manager, I think that actually works for me. That them two playing together. I think in terms of if you want to have that solidity in the middle of the park to allow the other players to thrive, I think you can. But the way Southgate plays him is just a complete waste of time.
Yeah, because I just think it's such a shame because like when Kalvin did play. Them England games, like everyone slaughtered him on Twitter, and I just don't think Southgate's showing, like, letting Phillips show what he's really made of. Like, you're basically restricting the best part of his game, and it's just frustrating because us Leeds fans will constantly bang the Kalvin drum, and we just want Kalvin Phillips to have the worldwide recognition, do you know what I mean, that he deserves, not just the Leeds fans' recognition.
I think the thing is, Phil, as well, in terms of Kalvin Phillips, I've got to say, in terms of his performances in the big games towards the end of the season, you know, you're looking at your Man City away, Man United at home against Bruno Fernandes, he's showing he can do it against world-class opposition. And as Rihanna says, he deserves that opportunity on the world stage now.
He does. And there's never going to be a single Leeds fan, I don't think, that's ever going to put up an argument for Kalvin not to go to these tournaments. But I think the only downside that you get from Leeds fans is the frustration of. I remember that when he went to that last 3 matches, played every minute, and he just got clips on Twitter, everyone going, "Oh, he only passes sideways, he only passes backwards." I'm just like, this is what happens when you put a moron in charge of a genius. You've got someone there that you can use and use him properly. And if you use him the way that he's meant to be used, he will look wonderful. If you use him in a stupid way, in a stupid system, you're going to get people pulling him to bits when he's actually a very good player, and that's half of the frustration from Leeds fans.
I think for me, Phil, on that, I think the issue is with England is we don't play with any real out and out width, because Kalvin in the Leeds side, he disrupts, he gets the ball, and we've got two wingers absolutely hurtling on, and you can guarantee there's an absolute worldie of a Phillips Diag coming. Yeah. Where he's really restricted in that title. I agree with you, mate, in that England side, because we're narrow. He's got normally Declan Rice stood on top of him. They're that close to each other half the time. Yeah. So the easy ball is just sideways or backwards and reset.
I think the thing.
Yeah, because sorry, but that's.
Can I go 1 second on the position itself? I think he's in that squad as a defensive midfielder. A single pivot is not a defensive midfielder as such. It's someone that is in charge of having half and half responsibility of contributing defensively, but also contributing in building up possession and attacking. Yeah. Like, it is a number 4 role. It's a number 4 shirt that he's wearing. I know it's 14 that he's got the squad number, but he's not a defensive midfielder. Yes, he can tackle. Yes, he can press, but he is absolutely integral to the way that we build up an attack. That's something that I think gets missed out by someone like Southgate.
I think the biggest thing as well is that you look at N'Golo Kante. Maybe it's a little bit irrelevant this, but I look at N'Golo Kante under Frank Lampard. I look at N'Golo Kante under Thomas Tuchel, under Antonio Conte, under Claudio Ranieri. You know, some of the top managers we're talking about there. This idea that we have this view of players like the robots and they should be able to perform under any manager. That's not the case. You've seen it with the very best. If they're playing under a manager who's bang average anyway, they're not going to be great. They're not going to be great. Particularly players playing a little bit further back who have got real big responsibility. They're not going to look absolutely brilliant all the time.
You only have to look at Kante and the Tuchel, like you say.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Champions League final the other night, he was absolutely ginormous for Chelsea the other night. Massive.
We never did that under Lampard because Lampard didn't know how to manage him. And that's Kante. That's a player like Kante. But, you know, you can't blame Kalvin Phillips for passing the ball sideways if that's what he's clearly been told to do. You know, it's all well and good saying that, he does this for Leeds, he does that for Leeds. If he's told that you can't, no, I don't want you playing long passes. I want everything short. I want low risk. I don't want us to lose the ball. I don't want us to get hurt in the counter-attack. You know, if that's what he's been told to do, then tough. If he tries to play like he does for Leeds, he's probably out of the team. Yeah, we say about like Gerrard for England. He was playing on the wing for England. You know, he can't suddenly decide to put himself in the middle. If he's told to play on the wing, that's part and parcel. I just don't get this. You know, it might just be my Leeds bias kicking in here, but I don't get why people are so quick to blame the players sometimes and not actually the manager who's got the easy job managing this talent. Just don't get it at all.
No, I agree 100%, mate. I'm just picking up on Mick's comment as well, because he did throw a super chat in earlier about Bielsa's changed Kalvin's career for the better. And he has. And that's why I said right at the top, this is why this England side, with the talent it's got in certain areas, should have a Bielsa, not that there's many out there, but a Bielsa-style manager in charge of it. And this team would steamroll teams through this Euros. But because we've got an half-baked manager, we're going to have an half-baked tournament.
But that's what frustrated me. Like, going back to what Phil said, go back to what you said, Chris, as well, about playing narrow. That's what frustrated me because I was watching England play. And, you know, Kalvin is forced to pass sideways. And every time he, like, you know, there was the odd time he was able to pass forward, but every time you could see Kalvin wanted to play the way that like he plays at Leeds, and every time he tried to do that, none of the wingers were fast enough. Like, they weren't picking up on, they weren't anticipating what he was going to do, and it ended up recycling the ball again and again, and you end up passing it back and doing that. It wasn't as fluid as it is with Leeds. And I guess that's what my frustration was when watching England. And that's why it just ends up being boring, because you just want it to be attacking and just fluid, but it just isn't.
But Rhiannon, it's okay though, because we have 80% possession. It's okay though. That's fine. 80% possession. That'll win us the tournament.
Was anyone there a few years ago at Ellen Road when Jaap Stam's Reading came on?
That is what it's like
Tuesday night, and all they did for 90 minutes was pass the ball across the back four to the point where the Leeds fans were absolutely having a day out on it and going, switch it right, switch it left. And that's all. And we beat them 2-0, but they had like 78% possession and we beat them 2-0. It was dreadful to watch. And it's going to be Gareth Southgate's Yap Stams England.
Honestly, it is though. It is exactly like that with this England team. But obviously, we've not really touched on Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount too much. I'm happy to see them in the team, to be honest. I think Jude Bellingham's had a superb season at Dortmund. I still think Birmingham were very, very hasty in terms of retiring a shirt number after him. But that's a different story. That's a totally different. I've always got to get in that in there somewhere because that is just anyway. But Mason Mount. Look, I know
I'd love to make an argument for Mason Mount not going because of the deep lying dislike that we tend to have for him, but he's just good at football. He is good at football.
He's quite good, isn't he? He's like that passing to Havertz, and he's doing that to Kane in the Euros final. Yeah. I take that. I'll take that all day long. I mean, anything to add, guys? Anyone you felt was unlucky? Maybe not to get in there. I mean, I've
got 2 unlucky ones, or even 3 unlucky ones when we get to the next lot. But I think for me, it seems like he's picked the nuclear central and then gone heavy on forwards. But not for me. I think it is what it is.
Okay, well, let's go on to the forwards. Let's go on to the attacking players we've got. So Dominic. Well, let's start with the wingers first of all. So we've got Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Rashford, Saka, Sancho, Sterling. And then only really 2 out-and-out central players, central strikers in Harry Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So let's start with the right-sided players first and foremost. So obviously got Sterling there, Sancho there, Bukayo Saka. I mean, looking at the right-hand side of the pitch, for me, we've just said about Kalvin Phillips in terms of he wants to play his natural game for England. I mean, I've seen Jadon Sancho a couple of times, and I've seen him play for Dortmund, I've seen him play for England. It is chalk and cheese. I think it's the same as Kalvin Phillips. For me, in terms of natural ability, he's one of the most talented players in this England squad. Arguably the most talented player in this England squad, after maybe Phil Foden. But for England, he just doesn't seem the same player. And I just think he's not allowed to play the same way. Rhiannon, you were saying before, there's no speed in the team, but everyone's like just stood as statues in this England team. And they're all stood as statues. And I'm looking at Jadon Sancho and thinking, a bit like Kalvin Phillips, he's just not been allowed to play he's not been allowed to play with freedom. And that's what I think this English team should be all about, is playing with freedom. I mean, for me, he would start over Sterling and Saka. I think Saka's a good player, but not quite proven enough yet. Sterling, just not in good form at all.
He's not. And do you know what? Because this is what annoys me, because didn't Southgate come out and actually say that he was going to base it off informed players? Well, why is Sterling in the team then? He's just there for experience, isn't it? Because he does have tournament experience. That is all he's there for. Because he definitely hasn't been informed this last season. He's hardly seen the pitch for half the season, and it just makes me question why is he even going in the first place? But that's Southgate for you, isn't it? He's like,
ask you a random question.
Go on.
Do you know who has the most caps in this England squad?
Are you going to say Sterling?
Which one? Raheem Sterling, 61 caps. He's got 3 more than Jordan Henderson. I think that's the only reason. I don't understand why else.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. I think it's just down to the purely experience. I mean, he's definitely like say for example the World Cup 2018. He earned his place there, but now I don't think he's earned his place in this Euro team at all.
Yeah.
I'd still.
No, he's not.
I still have him in the squad. I still think there's enough. I've seen enough, but not. He's going to start, isn't he?
I wouldn't take him. No, I think there's 3 players there that I wouldn't be taking, and I can tell you they are. Okay. I'll tell you I'd swap them with.
Yeah,
I don't think Calvert-Lewin should be going if we're talking on form. I think he's before the back end of the season. I don't think Rashford should be going, and I don't think Sterling should be going. And I'd have Jesse Lingard, Jack Harrison, and Patrick Bamford. And I know there's probably Leeds tinted glasses on there, but if we're talking form as well and where they sit in the stats, goals, assists, everything else, then you can't argue that there's a good shout for Bamford, Lingard, and Harrison all to be in that squad over the other three.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I mean, I think Bamford for Calvert-Lewin there's not. I just think Bamford's the better player. I think there's a lot more to Bamford's game. The stats are better for Bamford.
He's also, for me, Oscar, the closest we've got to Kane if Kane gets injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Without him to completely change our style of play.
Yeah.
Because if you're asking Calvert-Lewin to do what Harry Kane does, he's going to be lost. He's going to be lost in that England team. Ollie Watkins would have been the same.
He scored 16 goals, but he's got 1 assist.
He's a goal scorer. That is what Calvert-Lewin is. He's not this elegant player. He's just a pure classic number 9 for me in that kind of sense. But I mean, I'd still take Sterling and Rashford. I think I wouldn't start either player, to be honest. But I think if someone's likely to produce the moment of magic in a tournament, I'd still back Sterling and Rashford over Harrison. That's probably the only reason I'd say that. I think I'd agree Harrison's had the much better season. I just think the fact Harrison's never played for England before, I think that plays a factor in it too. But then you can say the same about Bamford. I'm contradicting myself, but I have done anyway, so
but
who cares?
What gets me, though, is like, you've got all these players coming through that actually deserve a call-up, and they're not getting the recognition because we're still taking the same players, whether they're in form or not. So don't come out and say you're going to you're basically going to say, oh, I'm going to take the most informed players, because at the end of the day, if you're going to go back on it, what's the bloody point in saying it?
Exactly, and that's where I'm with you, Rhiannon. If he came out and said, I'm going to take players based on experience, because I think personally as England manager it gives us the best chance. Okay, fine, that's your take. You're the England manager, but don't come out and say you're picking on form, because quite clearly in some positions you're lying, 100%.
I'll just say here as well, Lewis Dunk is a far, far, far better player than Tyrone Mings and Conor Cody.
Yeah.
Like a far better player than Mings and Conor Cody. I'd say I would 100% have him on that plane or train over those two. And not form, I'd say.
It's the same it's the same, because people will say, oh, you're talking about these players because the Leeds United. Look, I am no fanboy of Jesse Lingard. No fanboy of him. I think at points I'm like, that lad's stealing a living. But back end of this season, second half of the season for West Ham, he's been unreal. So the kid should be on the train, plane, bus, handcart, scooter, whatever it is that's taking him to the games. Heelys, knowing Jay Lings, as he likes to call himself. But he should be going over one or
electric scooters, had he?
Yeah.
Electric scooter kind of guy, you can tell.
He's been sensational for West Ham. He really has, and I don't like giving Jesse Lingard praise for the obvious ties that he's got to those over the Pennines, but he's been superb.
Okay. I mean, would anyone have anything other than Jadon Sancho starting on the right out of the options in that squad?
I'd probably start him, to be fair. I think there's a bit of pace. He offers maybe something, but I agree with what you and Rhiannon were saying. There's no point starting him if he's then going to be stifled and not allowed to play his natural game. So for me, probably won't start, but I would start him.
Yeah. I mean, look, we'll go on to the centre forward. Harry Kane. It's just simple.
Wait.
Kane starts.
Wait. No. Before you go to centre forwards, it's been an hour and I've not heard this rant about Jack Grealish yet. Go on.
Go.
Yes.
Go.
Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish should be in the squad. Jack Grealish should be in the squad. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt Jack Grealish should be in the squad.
Should start.
Jack Grealish. Where's he start?
Right wing over Sancho.
When's Jack Grealish ever played on the right wing?
Just fine. He can play on left.
Square pegs in round holes. It's the same thing every single year of England. It's the same thing every single year of England. Jack Grealish should start there. Grealish and Foden is the new Gerrard and Lampard. It's one or the other. It's the one who's done it in the Champions League. It's the one who's done it in the top tournaments. It's the one who plays week in, week out for the second best team in the world at this moment in time, Man City. I mean,
anyone else worry?
It's got to be Phil Foden.
Yeah, but does anyone else worry we're doing another Rooney rattle them off all you want? Are we putting too much pressure on a young man in Phil Foden to carry this England team through the tournament?
Yeah, I think we are, yeah. But we've got Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane's the star in this team. He's the one who's got to turn up. But I think Foden, Sancho, whoever it is, they've got to step up as well. They've got to step up themselves.
100%, mate. If Kane gets injured, like I said earlier, he might as well pack bags and come home.
Well, I wouldn't even put Calvert-Lewin up top if Kane got injured. I wouldn't even do that. I just play either Foden as a false 9, or I'd even probably just shove. I'd even shove Rashford there.
You think that Gareth Southgate knows what a false 9 is?
It's a shirt. It's a shirt size, isn't it?
Jesus Christ!
It's his shoe size, isn't it? No, not a 9, mate. I'm a false 9.
Imagine that. But that's what I'd do. There's no chance that Gareth Southgate is going to do that. There's no chance he's going to do that. I mean,
I can guarantee, mate, if we're 0-0 in a game, Calvert-Lewin's getting lumped on, and we're just going route 1, good old 4-4-2 football. Just pump it up and just hit Calvert-Lewin with the ball, because Gareth Southgate will be all out of ideas from 70 minutes on in a game if we're not winning.
From 70 minutes on? Do you not mean from 1 minute on?
Well, yeah, but he'll wait till 70 to show his hand, to show that he's clueless to the rest of the world that don't already know.
Dear me, though, Phil. Grealish on the right wing. What's that all about?
I was only trying to piss you off, to be honest.
Grealish on... It worked, though. It did work. There's no... Right, everyone is saying Grealish starts. How do you get Phil Foden, Mason Mount and Jack Grealish into the same team? You can't. You can't do it.
Grealish won't start. Don't get me wrong. I think I like the fact he's going. I think he's a superb option if Foden's off form or gets injured or gets sent off. He's a great player to bring. As much as I can't stand the lad for the amount of time he spends rolling on the floor like there's a sniper in the south stand, but football-wise, the lad's got skills. Do you know what I mean? So, but he doesn't start for me. No.
I think Mount and Foden have done it on the biggest stage. They've done it on the biggest stage. You can't try and cram them all into the same team, because what's the point? If you put
lightweight
Foden,
in it.
Yeah, exactly. If you put Mount and Grealish in midfield together, they're both just going to be taking stuff away from each other's game. So it's like playing Gerrard and Lampard in the same midfield. But don't get me wrong, England are behind in the game. One of the first players I'm looking at off the bench is Jack Grealish. I'm certainly looking at Jack Grealish over Sterling and Rashford at this moment in time. Yeah, I'm not denying that at all. But yeah, I mean, left wing, are we all saying Foden?
Yeah.
The kid's special, really special. I just hope that I just hope he has a decent tournament regardless of the outcome. I don't want to see another young kid get all hyped up and then go and have the pressure get to him. But I don't think Foden's like that. I think he will have a decent tournament. He's a cracking little player. I
mean, I'm seeing suggestions of Foden and Mount in midfield together.
I mean, that's too lightweight for me, though. They're just going to get...
Augusta Wind is blowing that over. Wind is blowing that over. Never mind, Scotland's midfield or whoever it is we come up against. It just can't work for me. I just don't think that can work. I mean, Gareth Southgate is probably... even the thought of doing something like that is just not happening. It's not happening, is it? I wouldn't be surprised. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Southgate doesn't start Foden in the first game. He goes Rashford or someone like that, just for experience purposes. I would genuinely wouldn't be. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if he goes Rashford. I wouldn't either. Sterling.
It wouldn't surprise me if the young talent's all benched.
Is our first group game Croatia?
Yeah, I think Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one.
I'm not. No, not after the bloody semi-final against the bloody World Cup when we lost against them. Jesus.
Luka Modric is 37 now. I think 37. I'm still almost certain he will be the best player on the pitch in that England-Croatia game. You know it's coming. And the fact we can't do anything about that with all the talent we've got, I genuinely think we struggle in that first game. I think Croatia will have all the ball.
Again, we should go Bielsa tactics and say to Kalvin, you go stand yourself on him, lad, and don't give him a minute's breath. Like he did to Fernandes, like he's done to others, like he did to KDB. Go stand on him. Don't come off him. Obviously upset Oscar. Bye, Oscar.
Bye, Oscar.
So I didn't think I was being that controversial with that, to be fair, but Oscar was obviously raging.
Well, I genuinely didn't hear what you said, man.
Basically, mate, for me, this is where again, because we've got a poor manager, for me, against a Modric, you say to Kalvin, go stand on him like you did Bruno Fernandes, like you did KDB, and don't give him a minute's breath.
Yeah, exactly. I think you get him just to put in the old let him know you're there challenge in the first 5 minutes for me in that one. No one did that in the World Cup.
No. We stood and watched him play football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henderson and Lingard were taking notes in the middle.
Nope. I'm sure it was really enthralling.
Yes.
I like it when he freezes. Fun.
Just freezing. We're gonna see a double Oscar soon. I just know it.
Yeah, he's going to dial back in separately, isn't he? Have we covered? We've covered everyone anyway, haven't we? I'm just going to get on the Bamford train now and sulk for the rest of the time, saying that Bamford should be going because I still think it.
Do you guys not expect to see Raheem Sterling start the first game? Because I do.
I do expect Raheem Sterling to start. Yeah,
he will start that first game.
Yeah, of course he will.
Yeah, I genuinely think Foden might not start that first game.
No, I don't think Foden will start. I don't think you'll see many of what we're classing as the younger, less experienced kids in this team start. I think he'll go with experience, and it will be an absolute bore fest.
But what my point earlier was supposed to be leading to, and I obviously lost my train of thought, is basically what's the point in what's the point in using the experienced players? I mean, I know you do need some experience on the field, but what's the point in leaving the young players out? And then you can't use the argument, oh, we're going to have this player for experience, when you're not going to give the young players experience. Like, how are they supposed to get experience if you're not actually going to play them?
No, I agree with you, mate. For me,
you know what I mean?
It should be on form, and it's players who are ready to go there and then. You're banging goals in. You're defending for your life. You're a good keeper. You've got the best stats keeper-wise for the last 3 months. You're in. Off you go. Express yourselves. Play football. Let's see what happens. Look, again, Leeds is probably a slightly good example in this, that early in this season, we took some absolute slappings, but we were going for it. So the fans were like, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a go, not sit there and park the bus. Let me just go kill the dog.
The dog, exactly what you're saying. He got the dog going there. He got him motivated. He's up for it. What's the play sentiment for England?
No, but you get my point there, don't you? Like how can they get experience if you're not going to play them? And especially when they are the ones that are actually in form from last season, and your experienced players are the ones that aren't. And you just know that the experienced players that aren't in form are going to be playing, and then the young ones that have all the form in the world coming from the previous season are just going to be sat on the bench.
Yeah, it's like
all
Luke
just
says there.
big, close, creepy football in it, international football.
Yeah. I mean, it just is, isn't it? I don't think England, it won't feel like right if England were ever actually good. It just wouldn't feel right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't ever feel right if England did well in the tournament. It just wouldn't feel.
It's like it's like a lot of people bang on about the last World Cup. We frauded our way through that last World Cup. That semi-final.
That was just lucky. That was
but Chris, we beat Sweden. We beat Colombia on penalties. Have some respect, mate. Have some respect. We lost as many games as we won. Have some respect, mate. We actually did as well.
Right, so we won on penalties, right, in 2018. How many years was it that we hadn't won on penalties?
I think the last time was before Christ, to be honest. I think it was like...
It was a record, though, wasn't it? It was
all down to Southgate, though. Don't forget that, Rhiannon. All down to Southgate. That he took all 5 penalties. He saved all 5 as well. Now, that's what you got to remember.
You're talking about a tournament.
The one that lost us,
didn't win
was
a
it the
single
96
game.
Euros? It was the 96 Euros, wasn't it? Was it the 96 one?
Yeah.
Didn't he miss the penalty?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He got a pizza advert out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Poor mentality. Celebrating that sums up England for me, though. About England players are taking part in an advert that's taken the mick out of them not winning like the biggest game of their life. That sums up the mentality of this England team for like the last 20. I don't want to sound like Roy Keane here, but the mentality is shocking. It is shocking in some kind of sense. I mean, totally separate points. We've gone through the team. I genuinely don't think Harry Kane should be England captain. I genuinely don't think he is a captain, to be honest. I think he's our best player, but I'd never think that, one, strikers make good captains. Other than Alan Shearer, I can't think of one example.
No.
I don't think you should ever have your best player as captain. I just don't think it works in that sense. I think, to be honest, I'd even make a stronger case for Kalvin being England captain than Harry Kane, but I don't know. It sums up England, the fact that we would give Kane the captaincy. It sums up Southgate, that for me, just to keep his best player happy. I mean, I don't know. Well, what do you think to that?
No, I agree. I agree on the fact they said there, mate, that your best player shouldn't also be your captain. Because if you lose him to an injury, not only are you losing your best player, you're also losing your supposed leader. And I think responsible. And I know teams always say, there's more than one leader on the pitch, but I don't know. So I agree with you, but I don't think he should be captain anyway. I'm the same, mate. I like centre backs or a defensive midfielder to be captain. Someone who can see the game happening.
Yeah.
I think if you take Henderson out, though, Henderson's not going to play every minute. And then when you take Henderson away, where are the leaders in that squad? Because I don't see a single person in that squad that I look at and go, leader.
I agree.
I agree. You're scrambling around looking for a captain when you've not got Henderson starting. That's the
What about Maguire, Chris?
No. The only thing he should be doing is captaining the ship home on his own, because he'd probably sink that.
I don't know if this is being I'm assuming this is sarcastic, but yeah, they don't get you going. They don't get you going, to be fair. But Billy Sharp, captain at Sheffield United. Where is Sheffield United? That's all I'm going to say to that. But look, when your best player is your captain as well, it puts an extra burden on them, almost. You know, it just puts that extra pressure on your best player, and you're thinking, you want your best player relaxed. You want to just play their natural game, express themselves on the pitch, have no other worries. It's bad enough. You know, he's looking to move from Tottenham. I'm not particularly delighted that that's going on before England's big tournament at home. I think that's really poor timing. I think that, does Alan Shearer do that as England captain? Looking for a move before a big tournament? No. Does he? No, absolutely not. Does Steven Gerrard do that? No. Does even David Beckham do that? I'm not praising the Man United player there, but I'm just saying it just doesn't happen. I don't think that's what a good captain does. I think he puts a true England captain, for me, puts country before club in that kind of situation, before a tournament. I just think he's creating unnecessary hassle for himself and the team by pushing.
It almost feels like Kane's made the excuses for himself before the tournament kicked off. If he has a poor one, his head was scrambled with talks of transfers and he didn't want to get injured and all the rest of it. I don't see him as a leader.
He's scrambled his own head.
He can put the ball in the net, so let him put the ball in the net and nothing else.
Can I be the one to throw out the empty trophy cabinet thing as well, just for the fun of it?
Yeah, you captain someone who's never lifted a trophy in their life.
Woohoo!
Harry Kane is a superb footballer. Don't get me wrong. If Harry Kane turns up at this tournament, he could potentially win this tournament on his own. He's one of the best players in the world. I'm not ever going to deny that. He's a fantastic player. We're lucky to have him as our centre forward. He should be captain.
In Tottenham's defence, Hugo Lloris did win a World Cup as a captain, didn't he? Fantastic achievement, that. Hugo Lloris shouldn't even
when he tried to meg someone in the final and got caught out.
Mate, I don't think he should be in their goals now. I think Meslier should, but I'm just there for the fun of it.
We're getting annoyed about France now. We just international football is just going to
basically, we've had a great season. We've had a great season as Leeds fans, so we just need something to vent about now. So we've got the summer to vent about the Euros and everyone in it.
We need to vent about England.
Honestly, if Robin Koch doesn't start for Germany in that first game, I'm going the full-on rant.
Flicking devils.
Yeah.
Flipping
Tables,
tables.
let's see.
Been in my brat there.
And there's Llorente at Spain as well, isn't he? He's playing centre back Spain.
Yeah,
I want Coops to start against England and have an absolute worldie as well. Pocket Harry Kane.
But that's it. The positive is, if England do lose to Scotland, you've got nothing to brag about Liam Cooper. That that our captain. Just there you go.
Super duper Euro winner Liam Cooper.
It's coming home.
It's coming home. I'm sure I'll be able to find some Scottish heritage somewhere in my
I've got
in my
some
past.
somewhere. So at least I've got that going for me.
We've obviously got Tyler with Wales. He's made the squad, hasn't he? So
hot take. Wales will go. I genuinely think Wales will go further than England in the Euros again.
oh, that's a shout. Is that, Oscar?
It's happened before.
No, mate. I'm not arguing with you. That's do you know it's worth a cheeky look on Sky Bet to see if that you can bet on that. Request
Bale
a
in the
bet.
Euros.
Let's just say,
it
if
turns
Wales
into
goes further than England, I am like an 8th Welsh, so I know who I'll be supporting.
an eighth Welsh.
An 8th Welsh.
I'm like
An 8th.
I'm like 193rd French, I think maybe. Just in case.
Eighth Welsh.
I genuinely think.
No, you know what I said
we'll go
before
no further than
about
the
plastics? It's what you said before about plastic supporters there, Chris. And
Mate,
eighth Welsh.
Yeah.
Then why not?
But all I'll say about Wales is they've got an easier route than England. England, if they win the group, have got to play one of Germany, France, or Portugal. We're not.
Mate, we're going out in the last 16.
Yeah, exactly. If we get through the group, we're going out last 16.
Yeah.
Bale turns into the best player of the world whenever he plays for Wales. He thinks he's playing golf when he plays for Wales, so he's already more enthusiastic.
He's the ultimate big fish, small pond player, isn't he?
Yeah.
When he's the big fish, he thrives in it. When he's lost amongst the Sea Galacticos, he tends to wilt and go play golf.
That's poetic, that, mate. That was absolutely poetic.
He has scored
Lovely.
in like more Champions League finals than most people, so I would disagree with that. I think that's a bit harsh. But why are we even talking about Gareth Bale, man?
Because it's more exciting than England. I'm actually genuinely more excited about that than
Direct everyone to Group F instead. Let's talk about that group. Robin Cox in there. That's got Germany, France, Portugal, all in one group.
Group of death, that, innit?
That's going to be an interesting group to watch. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be an
scenes when Hungary win the group.
Okay, we're watching.
I'd love that, I'd love Hungary to get through because they get no respect. Like all the other teams, it's all about them, and then the Hungary just like we're here as well. I'd love just even if just take a point off one of those three, just to put them in their place a little bit. I'd love that. Absolutely love that. Preferably France or Germany. One of them. Love that.
Well,
Kevin
Germany are
Keegan
way
now.
down the rankings, aren't they now?
Yeah.
Aren't they like 13th in the world and we're 4th? How the hell are we 4th?
Gareth Southgate, mate.
Because we're class. That's why. We're class.
Yeah, because of that semi-final.
Can't argue it.
No.
Mate, we haven't lost really, have we? Not lost many games lately. Not that we played anyone other than fucking Andorra, but you know.
It would be a worry. It would be a worry though, Phil, if we had lost recently.
Mate,
it's always the way, though, isn't it? It's always the way when we go through a qualifying, we're like, unbeaten in 10 games in qualifying, turn up the tournament. We're coming home, but not with anything. Nice one. We go again.
It's like Man City being in the Championship.
Yeah,
it's like Man City saying, we've gone 10 games unbeaten in the Championship this season. Everyone,
well done, you.
No one's bothered, but in the qualifiers, it's coming home. It's coming home. We just beat Andorra 5-0. I mean, I remember Gary Neville. Gary Neville, when he was defending his time at England, he was going on about that. For 2 years we were brilliant, and then it came to the tournaments, we didn't quite do it. I'm thinking that is such an FA answer. I'm looking at it thinking
that's borderline Rio Ferdinand when Scum beat PSG and he was banging the desk, giving he's at the wheel, give him what he wants.
The contract, how many numbers, all this lot.
Thing is, though, I just look at it saying, like, if the golden era, the golden era of Gerrard and all them lot couldn't do it, then why do we even dare to think that this era is going to do it?
We've got Gareth Southgate. We've got Southgate.
Good. Let's not go because then Kalvin can
Let's
get his feet
not
up.
go. Yeah. Fuck the Euros. We're not going.
Honestly, if Harry Maguire scores like at all in the tournament,
I'm resigning.
Reaction from Chris Kelly.
I'm resigning on the spot.
To be fair, if Jack Grealish scores, I will struggle to celebrate. I would struggle to celebrate.
Oscar, bring up Lou's comment. Are you all going to be wearing waistcoats for the watch along?
No.
The one below.
I'll wear a Southgate out t-shirt, but I won't wear a waistcoat.
Lou, there's a term that I use quite a lot with these guys, and it's I'd rather shit in my hands and clap.
What a well-known phrase that is. That's not the way you said it. It's a well-known phrase.
Well known.
You find that in the dictionary, you know.
Fact. Under things you'd rather do than copy Gareth Southgate.
So, our Euro 2020 app is available at...
Yeah, let's talk about our Euro 2020 app.
That's going to be more exciting than the actual tournament. There you go.
Yeah. It is. It actually is, because Phil's so determined to win this. He's so determined to win this.
All in.
The research is being done already by Mr. Miles as we speak. But guys, link in the description down below. We've teamed up with Scarito to bring a fantastic app to you guys. Link in the description down below. You now need to download the Scarito app on the App Store or visit Scarito on their website on there, which the link is in the description. But if you Google Scarito, you will find them. It's free to join, guys. It's free to join our league, guys. $2.99 to join any other league or to join Scarito in general. But it's free to join our league, guys. So get on it. So it's a combination of fantasy football and predictions. It's a lovely little combination. It's quite a unique game. It is a unique game in that sense. You predict the 4 goal scorers from each round of the tournament. You predict the winner of the tournament. And you predict each score in each game of the tournament. So it's a fantastic little idea. Great game to join. We're going to do our own league. There's going to be a prize on offer for the winner. We've not decided what it will be yet. But join, guys. Join. But there will be a prize and offer for the winner. So check it out. Even if you're a Plastic fan, you know, Chris won't be happy with you, but you can still join. Even if you're an 8th Welsh or a 63rd Scottish, you know, or 2.4% Norwegian, it doesn't matter. Join the league, guys. Join the league. Link is in the description down below. Check it out, guys. You want to beat Phil Miles, don't you? You want to finish above Phil.
Don't we all? Can't all get what we want.
I think we all want to finish above Phil.
Oh, fighting talk from Phil. Get signed up, everyone.
Go on, beat me. Not literally, please.
I'll get beat.
Is that another thing? No, I won't say what I was going to say then. I almost said what I was going to say then, but I didn't. It might have been links to Gareth Southgate, but I won't say what I was going to say then. Good job I didn't. Anyway, so that has been your England squad. You can see how enthralled we are by the squad. I still think, despite what we said, this England team, being at home in the final, home in every single game, should still be looking to win the tournament. Yeah, with the talent we've got in that squad, we should still be looking to win the tournament. I don't look at any of the other teams in there and think they're anything particularly special. I think they've all got weaknesses. We've got some weaknesses, don't get me wrong. We've said about them. But we still should be looking to win this tournament. But I think we're going out in the last 16. Rhiannon, how far do you think England... Obviously, there's a friendlies to be played. There's all this and that. Yeah, we're going to get a bit of a better idea about what the other teams are up to. But right now, your gut instinct, where do you think England will get to?
Last 16.
Chris?
Last 16.
Phil?
I'd be happy to see him knocked out in the group stage so I can enjoy the rest of the tournament, to be honest.
Well, this has been a very, very uplifting conversation. We'll try and be more positive as the tournament goes up or comes closer even.
Don't get me wrong. If we're all of a sudden
football's coming out. Football's coming out, mate.
Yeah.
If we're all of a sudden in the semi-final, the flags and everything are out.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, football shirt on, paint in my face, everything.
We're rushing
the first game
for my shirt.
I'm not much of a flip flop. That if we score first against Croatia, I'm doing that anyway. I'm doing it middle of the game. Luka Modric is a poor man's Declan Rice. The lot, whatever you want to say. But yeah, we're all feeling positive. But look, we're not getting carried away like these other people who are saying that we're going to win it. I mean, come on now.
We're just being realistic. I wouldn't say we're being typical Glory fans.
I'm supporting the Germans. Sod this.
Robin Cock.
You said it, Phil.
I'm looking forward to the tournament for the sole reason that Leeds United players are going to be performing in it in different teams.
That's it.
Exactly, yeah.
Seven different players.
Seven, that's impressive.
Go and read our article on our website.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out, guys. Phil, give us a quick plug. On that article.
Go on the All Leeds TV website and have a look at our article on all 7 Euros players from Leeds United. We've got one for 7 different nationalities. Not going to bore you with the stats because they're in the article and you can read it. You lazy arse yourself.
Love that. You're getting good at the plug-in, mate.
Nice.
You're getting really, really good at the plug-in. I'm not going to deny. Anyway, look, we're doing it. We're winning this tournament. Maybe. We'll leave it there, guys. Anyway, we will be back with more Euros content, Leeds content, everything content. That doesn't even make sense, but you know what I mean. Let's leave it there. Content. It's all about the content, isn't it? It's all about the content. Excellent customer service skills from Phil.
I do work in sales every now and again.
He does as well.
Selling.
And our man Ben Simpson as well. Highly recommends it. So check it out, guys. Check it out. I'm going to leave it there. It's coming home. Football's coming home. There's nothing you guys can do about it. The inevitable is going to happen. There you go. Goodbye.